Hello, this is Dr. David Kordowitz, and welcome to Solidworks. Today we're going to be talking about a really cool feature that Solidworks has to allow you to visualize your parts and assemblies called Photoview 360. Let's begin. Today we're going to be using this assembly, which includes a clamp, locking pin, and base. If you notice, it's a little bit shiny, and that's because I have Realview Graphics turned on. To turn Realview Graphics on, if your graphics card supports it, simply pull down on the menu up here in the flyout and choose Realview Graphics. If Realview Graphics does not appear in this menu, it is either likely that your card is not officially supported or does not support Photoview 360. If you look out on grabcad.com, there are some available hacks to turn Realview on if your card is not officially in the supported list. However, if your card isn't powerful enough to handle this, it can lead to problems while you're drawing. So I would recommend to use Realview if it's available to you, but if not, that's okay too. Photoview, though, which we're going to be discussing today, is always available. Photoview is a Solidworks add-on that allows us to look at our part or assembly as if it were actually manufactured. So let's look at how we do this. The first step we need to do is go to the Solidworks add-ins tab in the Control Manager, or we can go up in the menus and get the add-ins, which is also in the Tools menu. If we come here, we have a list of all of the components that we have available to us. Today we're going to be using Photoview 360. In future lessons, we'll be using the motion and the simulation toolboxes, as well as the flow toolbox. But for now, let's go ahead and click on Photoview 360. This will take a couple of seconds to load, and the way you'll know it's complete is because you will see a Render Tools tab appear in your Control Manager. So let's go ahead and click that Render Tools, and there's a few different settings that we can do, although really Photoview kind of is automatic. So the first thing we're going to do here is we need to set up our camera to determine what our actual look is going to be. We can sort of set it up by developing our look in our main screen. However, what we need to do is we need to hit the preview window or integrated preview button to officially set the camera. The integrated preview will do the preview in the window that you're currently in, where the preview window will pop a separate window. I tend to prefer the preview window because it just is a little smoother in my opinion, but it is up to you to determine which you want. So when you hit the preview window button, it's going to say on the first time, only the first time you hit this button, it's going to say that we recommend that you put a camera in and turn on perspective view. So let's go ahead and select add camera. And what we're going to get is we're going to get a picture of what our space looks like, and we're going to get a little movie camera that we can now grab and move around. The closer the camera is to the part, the more zoomed in it is, as well as you can change angles and change positions. If you grab the little red dot, it'll allow you to sort of move things around and get the look that you want. You can also do this if you wish by adjusting things here in the Property Manager. You can adjust angles and positions and all of those sort of things. You can also change the type of lens that's on there. So like wide angle lenses versus zoom lenses versus normal. So we're going to go ahead and set this up. And now that we're done, we're going to click the check mark to say that we're okay. At this time, we now have a camera looking at our part. However, this is not a preview window. This is still your live window, but one thing you'll notice is since we have this hex border on the edge that this standard stuff doesn't work until you do a change of view. Simply by clicking on the right mouse button and just dragging in the direction of the view. Okay, so now that we've got this, let's go ahead and hit our preview window button again. And this time it's going to launch a new window. This can take a couple of seconds, and in my case, it just opened it on the other screen, so let me drag it across. And this preview window is going to be kind of a rough estimate of what your final result is going to be. And so if we look at it now, you can see that our part looks kind of like that. But if we want to, we can adjust our part in space and it'll re-render depending on where it is relative to the camera. So once we decide that this is a good position or a bad position, we can go ahead and use our final render up here in the toolbar to generate our final image. So we're going to click Final Render, and you're going to get another window that pops that looks like this. And what's going to happen is it's going to go through and in detail render through your drawing, through your part. At the end, you get a little bit of a tonal play to tell you that it's done, and then we can look at our results. This gives you the ability here to adjust through different settings for your parts and do different renderings. So you have the ability to do image processing, you can alter color schemes and things like that, as well as you can do things like comparing and do image statistics. Once you like your image that's come out and you like your final rendering, you can simply hit the Save Image button down at the bottom left, and then you can say where you want to save this image, and it'll save it as a JPEG, a bitmap, or anything like that, a TIFF, any of those standard image formats, so you can include them in your reports or in your or in some other format. So this allows you to integrate your images into other formats. Okay, so there's one other interesting concept here, and that's scenes. So let's say we want to take our part and imagine what it's going to look like in some sort of environment. We have the ability to do this in SolidWorks by using either the Edit Scene command up here or the flyout on the toolbar. If we hit Edit Scene, what's going to happen is we're going to get, we have the ability to basic scenes or more advanced scenes. You can set this however you want, or you can use the built-in scenes that will appear on your task manager. So as we roll through, you can see there are a bunch of different scenes available. So let's say, for example, we choose factory. What's going to happen is it's going to put our parts on a factory floor. And this does not look very detailed right now, but it actually can come out to look really good. Let's take, for example, let's do a presentation scene and say we take a kitchen. So we can take a kitchen scene and drag it in. And here we go, here's our kitchen scene, and now we can do our Photoview render again. And give it a second. And so the first thing it's going to do is it's going to bring up our window to do a basic preview, and now it's going to render our part in that environment. SolidWorks has hundreds of different environments available for doing scenes. You can also include your own photographs if you wish to give it the real feeling of being in the environment that the part would be in. Now for this course, this is mostly a just interesting thing to play with, but this can be used in marketing materials and things like that. This is what SolidWorks Composer and things like that are for. However, in our course and in other basic SolidWorks design areas, you're simply going to design the part. You can use the photo view to represent it in a really nice 3D manner, but the scenes are somewhat excessive. So that's the basics of using Photoview 360 to sort of render your part and be able to see very, very closely what's going on. This allows you to look at your part, how it's going to look when it's finally manufactured. If you change the materials of parts and things like that, that will change the appearance, will change reflections and things like that. So you can really get some really detailed and nice drawings and really detailed and nice renderings. So that's about it. Thank you for your time and see you next time.